Hey there, friendlies, how's up? Welcome to the 22nd of October episode of the Beer Blades and Bushcraft live stream. So, what are we going to talk about tonight? Some things. I got beer. I got blades. I got my Beer Blades and Bushcraft t-shirt on. And I got dry rye toast because I did not want to be late. Dry toast. It's like my Blues Brothers moment. Who out there has seen the Blues Brothers? Everyone, right? Or am I dating myself? Tyler, how's it going? I had to duck out of your live stream earlier and go to the pharmacy for stuff for the mini person. Check this out. I was pulling into the driveway at the pharmacy. Guy driving in before me. I'm coming in right behind him. In front of him, some guy comes pulling out and is like about to clip his front bumper. So he just backs right up and doesn't see me. Bam! Punched in my front, my fender. So it's been a really good night so far. I think that tomorrow I have to deal with insurance, and the missus is very happy. Let me tell you. But what can you do, right? Hey, Anthony, how's it going? How do I feel about the election? As I said in my my election night special last night, I don't think anyone deserved a majority this time. I feel that we don't have old school conservatives in Canada anymore. So these guys are all kind of scary. I live with a black woman, so I could not go in the direction of the conservatives this time. And honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. It was like the election nobody wanted. You know? No airbags. It wasn't that big a hit. Dented the crap out of the front of my car, but not totaled or anything. Hey, Serge. Hey, Tenenbaum. So Tyler, yeah, I don't think it was rigged. Look, first past the post as a system automatically rigs elections, But if it had really been rigged, it would have come out much differently. Anthony, yeah, about an hour and a half ago, just a little fender bender. It's a drag because now I have to deal with insurance, and the premium will probably go up. Tyler, if I was going to rig an election, it would be yours. First of all, I wouldn't waste my time rigging an election in a prime ministerial, like in a Westminster style democracy, right? You want to, I would want to rig the election of a country with a president, right? Because you want to buy the president. If it's an American or a South American style presidency, in a place like Ireland or like France or something. Well, France is a place like Ireland, France, where you have both a president and a prime minister. Less of a, there's less power in the president generally. France is different on that, but I wouldn't waste my time rigging the Canadian election. I can just buy one. As I know, it's not the first time we've dealt with this bumper. Yeah, everyone's okay, Anthony. I was the only one in the car. I had to run to the pharmacy and get some medicated cream for the tiny person. But I miss the days when people could vote for different parties and not hate each other, you know? Because that's what I grew up. That's the way I grew up. You know, an NDP member of parliament and a Conservative member of parliament could go after each other in the House of Commons, and then when they all went to the local pub afterwards, it was like everyone's okay because it's just part of the daily job, you know. I would love to do a fall overnighter. But like November's already gone because there's something every weekend. You know, December is rapidly disappearing because there's something every weekend. What I need to do is just check out of the world for a week. Yeah, the loyal opposition. Oh, Hawk's Adventure Vlogs with Dogs. Hi, I don't think you've been around before. I live in Canada. Yeah. Anyway, I did an election live stream last night. I don't want to I don't want to bore you guys with too much election talk now, but I do have a beer, and you know, it's something. It's kind of bushcrafty. I don't want to talk about. See this? How many of you guys know what this is? Simone is going to know what this is. Hawks, you accidentally set me. That's fine. I support you. Oh, Tyler, that sounds cool. 7-day survival challenge with Chris Thorne. Nice. How'd you pull that one down? Now I wait for the inevitable buffering to. You know what? We'll talk about this later. Let's do all the normal housekeeping stuff first. Talk about the beer and stuff. Who's got beer, by the way? I know Serge doesn't because he's working in the morning. Serge works early, driving little children around. Oh, your friends? Okay, I got him to. Nice. You're eating dinner? All right. I am. Where are you, Hawk? Like, are you sort of out west somewhere? Because, well, it's 9 o'clock. I've eaten supper at 9 o'clock before. Yeah, it's a fro, Anthony. Nice. Western Washington. Okay. Washington State, I take it, not the district. Yeah, 6 p.m. Yeah, I've gone through Washington State. I used to have a girlfriend in the Bronx, and I took her to meet my dad out. He lived in Vancouver at that time. He no longer does. Now he's in the interior of British Columbia. But it was so much cheaper for her to fly like New York to Seattle by JetBlue. JetBlue? What? But JetBlue than it is to fly anywhere in Canada. That I said, honey, we'll drive down and pick you up in Seattle. And that's what we did. And Washington State is every bit as pretty as British Columbia is. Just going by my very small experience of driving through it. And I would really like to see more of it at some point. To and fro. Nice and Tenenbaum. Yeah, a little later I want to talk about this fro because I would love at some point to get a better one than this. But we'll talk about that a little later. I've only been to Abbotsford. Okay, for an air show, yeah. I've been to the Abbotsford Air Show a couple of times back when I was a kid. When I was young, I was in the Air Cadets. And so I was very into planes and an air show. Hell yeah, I'm there, kind of thing. And the Abbotsford Air Show is pretty good. The last one I went to was when the MiG-29, the Soviet MiG-29, was new, and man, the Soviets hadn't been to a Western air show in God knows how long. And so they showed up, which was cool. And they had an AN-229 or whatever that the hell that big freaking plane is called. The one with I think it was 6 engines. Big enough that, the front opens and you could fit fighter planes inside it. And they came with 2 or 3 MiG-29s and some helicopters and stuff. And they did a little exchange at one point where they took out everything in the cockpits of the CF-18 and the MiG-29 that was top secret. And they let a Soviet pilot fly a CF-18 and a Canadian pilot fly the MiG-29. Which was a big it was a PR stunt, but I mean, the Soviets weren't not going to let an American in the cockpit, but they never had as much trouble with us as they did with you guys. And man, for the longest time, the MiG-29 was my favorite fighter jet. Man, it had a real cool aspect to it that none of the Western jets. Well, there was a European I don't know. This was the days before the. I don't know, actually. I don't remember what it was, like a Eurofighter or something. Something with Delta wings. That was really cool. But, man, those Soviets were they were the most popular guys at that air show. Let me see. You need a good... Tyler, you need a good... Okay. A good ogre? Ogre? A good auger. Is that what you're saying? A good auger? I need a good auger too. How's up, friendlies? There's Mr. Outdoor. I like that new knife of yours. You require a passport? No, I don't think it's worth $80 plus the ticket and drive. Okay, good. Yeah, good point. Guys, I'm going to go get a box of Kleenex because I'm dying here. I'll be right back. I don't know why I forgot to bring that today. I don't know what's up with that, man. Yesterday, before my impromptu election night live stream, like right before, maybe 10 minutes before I came, but it's wicked cold. And I'm just dying. Just dying. So, what have I missed here? Simone's getting no lag, so it must be Serge's fault. Everything's always Serge's fault. When am I going to Vegas? I don't know. Sometime in November. I don't remember. It's like a real short trip because my wife is running there, whatever that marathon is. Yeah. Oh wow, that's a long time ago, Hawk. Welcome to the live stream, Hawk's Adventure. Arrow. Why you got to bring up the arrow, man? Why you got to reopen old wounds? R.I.P. Arrow. Hey, Tyler's here. How's it going? I'm dying, Tyler. Okay, where was I? Yeah, it's funny, Hawk, because I think that maybe when it was the USSR was probably the last time I was at the Abbotsford Air Show, too. Like, that one I'm thinking of was probably the last time I was there. You like the F-4 Phantom and the F-16 Eagle. Oh, hey, Allie. I also used to really like the Phantom. I thought that was a cool looking. Like, my favorite planes back in the day were like the Phantom, the Warthog, that ugly ass slow thing. Yeah, what's it called? The A-10. I love that thing. That MiG-29 was just, man, it was like mystery, sexy lines, fast as hell. It was the whole package. So we got both the Belso boys. Yeah, Tyler, I'd love to meet you in person at some point too. All right, see you later, Hawk. Maybe swing by next week as well. Nick and Tyler. Both the Belso boys. Everyone's here. I'm just making sure I didn't miss too much. Yeah, this is garbage. This is horrible. It hurts to breathe. But I haven't had a bad cold in a long time, so I guess I was saving it up. Hey, Kuha, Dennis, what's up? Just in time for Anthony to say nutsack. Outdoor Dauber. As to which tea you should make tonight, make it something nice and floral, with notes and maybe a little peppermint, maybe a little Labrador tea in there. Yeah, good. Yeah, Anthony makes the entrance from. Yeah, Dennis, nuts. Does your live stream? By the way, now that Dennis is here, I'll say to everyone that I was hanging out on his live stream before rushing down here to get mine going. I'm trying to do it every Tuesday night. He starts at 7. His live streams are always a good time, so check it out. We're gonna eat some rockets. By the way, to the Americans out there, these are not called Smarties. They're rockets, okay? Properly known as rockets. Smarties are something else. Just ask any Canadian or British person. I love these damn things. I shouldn't because they're terrible for me, but yeah, Dennis, there are a couple of phrases or words that get repeated in my live streams every single time. One of which is nutsack. I don't even remember why. Oh yeah, because either Tyler or someone else has a nutsack, haversack. Nutsack being a brand of bag. And apparently it's hilarious. Slap your mama. Hey, Martin. So anyways, that's that. That's that for that. Right. So the reason I wanted to bring this up is, how many of you guys out there have a fro? Because this fro is terrible. And I don't know if I should just get rid of it and buy something else, or if I can do something with the edge on this. And this isn't what the entire damn live stream is going to be about, but it's round, guys. I know they're not supposed to be like knife sharp, but really? And the reason why I thought of this is because I came across it while I was cleaning out the garage today. I'm trying to sort of I'm trying to look at my garage in a different way, because as Dennis and Martin know, there's a canoe in my future here, and I need a place to stick it when it's not on the water. I have this whole plan to turn my garage into a workshop. Move my workbench out there, move the tools out there, install heating so that everything doesn't rust over the winter. But I got to figure out a place to put this canoe in. Like maybe stick it up in the rafters or something. But as part of that, I'm trying to organize the space so that it's not just a big pile of junk all the time. You're not Smarties. They're not Smarties. I would probably add Slap Your Mama to rockets if I had any left, but I've eaten both of them. I stole those rockets from my daughter's bag of candy, by the way, so let's keep this one a secret, okay? Blackburn. Oh, Dennis. Are you talking about this being a Montreal Canadien hockey stick? Is that what are you bringing attitude to the live stream? Well, that's okay, because I, unlike most Montrealers, don't give a damn about hockey. Now, if you want to talk about the beautiful game, I'll talk. If you want to talk about rugby, so long as we're talking about the All Blacks. I used to watch, we used to have a professional lacrosse team in this town. I went to a few games, to a couple of those games I've lost control of my mouth. I went to a few games, but wait, whoa! Why are you guys retracting? The Fro, it's a cheapie from Lee Valley. I have no idea. It was like $30, I think. Dennis, I'm on until 11. Sometimes I go into like 11:15, 11:30 if like the conversation really picks up, because I find my live streams get a lot better later. I think because everyone's sure. All right, see you later, Dennis. Hey, Hamza's here. Comment ça va, mon ami? Yeah, I won't be downtown when those two teams are playing. For those of you guys who have canoes, actually, and who might live sort of in the city, because I know that Dennis, who is now gone, I think he's got like a lot of yard space, or he's got it outside somehow. Okay, thanks, Dennis. So let's just get back to the beer. Who's got beer? Because here's what I got. This is Le Castor Brewing Company. It's a microbrasserie somewhere here in Quebec. If I can find where it is. Microlecastor.ca. Where are we? Rigaud, Quebec. And it's an oatmeal stout. It's a 473 milliliter can. And are we at? And it's a 5% alcohol by volume. So straight up Canadian beer. And I have never ever tried it. Here's me trying not to bugger the pour. As Serge knows, I'm terrible at this. I think it's because I'm pouring too far down the side of the glass. I do like me an oatmeal stout. I like most stouts, actually. I like a dry stout. I like an imperial. Good with an oatmeal. I like a nice coffee stout. I like a nice porter. I like a good Guinness. Oh, look at that color, guys. Come on, man. Isn't that a sweetheart? Looky that. And there's my Ontario microbrasserie glass again. A Quebec beer in an Ontario glass. What? It's good. I mean, good and malty. There's a bit of a sharp thing happening up at the top, but it's not too bad. It's not like an IPA kind of cloying sharpness. It's just I was expecting something a lot sort of smoother, and it's got the smoothness at the back, but just at the top there, it's got there's a snare thing happening. I mean, snare like maybe a little bit of a burnt espresso thing as well. Oh, there's a lot going on there. Just take me now. Anyway, where are we? Maybe you'll buy it for me. If you really want it. With the fro, get a dreadnought file to dress that edge up first. Think of fairy rasp. Okay. All right, I can see if I can find one of those. So, I'm more like northeast on. Actually, I'm far enough south that I'm pretty much directly east from Ottawa. Ottawa's pretty close. It's only like a 2-hour drive if you're careful. Yeah, Hamza, I saw that about your dad. How is he? Nick's drinking the peach carbonated water. That's fine. That's okay. Oh, you're having rotisserie chicken and potatoes. Hell yeah. Simone's having the St. Lawrence flat. Nice pour, right? Not a bad one. Okay, so he's done his surgery and he's great. Okay, well he's doing fine. That's good. That's good. That was you worry about the parents, eh? Sometimes. Tyler, really? Yes, I will text you later. Yes, I will check my phone. I've been trying to. I don't want to get too lost because I find that with some of these live streams, like I get lost like looking at screens and stuff, and I'm afraid of being boring. Oh, my battery's almost dead. Come on, man. How does that happen? Okay, let me just see. Did you guys watch my moves like Jabba link that I sent you, by the way, Alline boys? Belsa boys? Oh, nice work. Can I show this, Alline? Can I show this to the people? Let me just turn the brightness of the screen all the way down. As Sal taught me how to do. Oh, look at that. Ain't that cool? Tabernacle. The reflectiveness on this screen is horrible. It's like it's a leather pouch for his work tools. Well, like what is that? Swiss Army knife, a flashlight, and a pen. LA man, I like your work. And that goes on a belt, I guess, does it? Of course, Simon would take a Farrier's rasp as well. I think Simon has tools that no one has ever used or will ever use. He's got some really cool stuff, but he's also got a lot of. What would you say your tool collection is like? Huge or elephantine? Every time I'm at Simon's place, he says, "Oh, take a look at this," and he pulls out something, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" I didn't swear, did I? Hey, LT. Hey, LT. How the hell have you been, man? A picture of Outdoor Dauber's new knife, unless he tells me I can't show it. Because you knife guys will recognize it. What? What? Ella, you can't go. What the hell? Was it something I said? All right, I'll speak to you. Speak to you later. We got to hit the bush again sometime soon, Belsa boys. There we go. We're gonna. That looks like an. I don't think what it is. I don't know what it is. No, you didn't actually say. Is it an LT, right? Am I right on that? Am I right on that? That's a stupid thing to say. Come on, Jess. Oh, who's buffering? I bet you the Netflix is on upstairs. I'm betting you there's the Netflix on upstairs. All right, see you later. LT right, Bushcrafter, yeah. It's a really nice looking knife. Are you guys still buffering? Like, okay. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Clean connection now, okay. Martin, you had to refresh. Okay, yeah. We're supposed to have a funk, shall we say, of a bandwidth here. But if I'm doing this live streaming thing, and then the Netflix goes on somewhere, it like boom, suddenly there's an issue, and it's like, no, this isn't supposed to be an issue. But it was so much worse when I was doing this wirelessly. Oh, am I doing this wirelessly? Just let me check something here, folks. Yes, I am doing this wirelessly because my Ethernet is no longer working because my Hackintosh tried to install an update and buggered everything. Yes. Wow, it's embarrassing that I just remembered this now because I was going to fix this before tonight. Sorry, guys. I was all like, it's your fault. And it's not. Status cable unplugged. No, it's bloody not. It ain't unplugged. What the hell you talking? What you talking about, Holmes? I don't know. I don't get it. But I will fix it. It will be fixed at some point. Yeah, the cabling is fine, Sumo. It's like literally those of you. I don't know what everyone uses. I don't know how many of you guys are Mac or PC. I stopped using a Windows like 20 odd years ago because I was tired of my computers not working and I wanted a smooth computing experience. So I went to the Macintosh side, and I've been very happy, except for the cost. This time I decided to build a Hackintosh, which is you put a PC together using parts that can be made to work with the Mac OS, and then you install Mac OS on it. I dual boot it because I play video games, so I put it into Windows. But here's the thing, because I got a lot of money in this baby right here. Okay, by doing the Hackintosh thing, I've undone the reason why I went for the Macintosh in the first place. I mean, I still like having the Mac OS, but the reason why I stopped buying PCs and started buying Macintoshes is so that I would have a problem-free computing experience. And you don't get that with a Hackintosh. And so I've got a really weird thing going right now where I can't update. Like there's a new operating system out and I can't install it. It just goes into like, an infinite loop. And I don't know. Tenenbaum, I agree with you. Windows is finally not half bad, but I'm so in this ecosystem that it would be major bucks to change. And also, I mean, Windows is finally pretty damn good, but it's still not my comfort zone. And what Windows doesn't have is good color science. Like in terms of editing video and stuff and getting true colors, Windows is out of the box. Windows is no good at that. You can make it work, but it's not like inherent the way it is with the Mac OS, because Mac OS was completely geared towards designers and photographers and blah, blah, blah. Tyler, the Fro, I bought the Fro for splitting down rounds for when I'm doing spoon carving. I thought it would be an easier way to split straight. I take a round, boom, boom, boom. You get a straighter break than with an axe. But because when it arrived, the edge is so bloody round, I've only used it once and it was terrible. Like, look at that. Look at that. What? Right? Thing is, it's an affordable Fro. Whereas not everyone makes an affordable Fro. And even if you're buying an antique one, they're not always affordable. Hey, Wonders Rangers here. How's it going? Yeah, Tenenbaum, I'm with you. Windows 10 is a very good operating system comparatively. compared to the previous Windows. Yeah, Tyler, that's true, but a lot of spoon guys will use a fro on birch, like I would be doing. There's a lot of them. One guy who uses a fro all the time, or at least he did when he was making videos all the time, is Alex Yerkes. I don't know how many of you guys know who Alex Yerkes is, but he's like, his big thing is he carves like spoons and kooksas, mostly kooksas these days. My spoon knife, actually, he forged. Well, wonders, I got myself a wicked head cold, but you know. Well, Tyler, it's a very it's a very affordable fro, and it's like a cheap made in China fro. But I agree, it's unusable as it is, you know. This beer is good, man. Part of me wants to start a microbrassery, whatever. What's a microbrassery in English again? Like, you know, those independent beer makers. Microbrewery, microbrewery, and make like 4 different kinds of beer and give them all like bushcrafty names, and everything. Like, based on what certain aspects of camping or bushcraft bring to mind, you know. Like, obviously I have to have a stout, a nut brown, or maybe an extra special bitter. You need to have an IPA, even though they're garbage, and then something else, like a blonde or just a straight up pale ale or something. And microbrewery, yes, thank you. And like, name each of them about, you know, like, which one would be the one with the canoe on it? Like what beer flavor says campfire to you? Which beer flavor says, you know, sitting in a canoe or paddling across a lake? You know, which beer profile would say fishing, for instance? First of all, I don't fish, so that would, I don't know, because I've got fish allergies. If I eat salmon, I die. And so that, for me, the knock-on effect is I'm very wary of fish across the board. I know that white fish I can eat, and that red or pink fish I cannot. But I associate fish with getting sick, so I don't tend to eat a lot of fish anyway. Look, I don't have the money to start a microbrewery, but you know, it's an interesting little thought experiment, you know. I think the sitting by the campfire one would probably be the stout, but that's because I'm into stout, you know. Like, sitting around a campfire in late fall, maybe even early winter, you know. Like, sitting around a campfire in June or July. Well, first of all, you're, God damn it, get away from me, bugs. But like, in hot weather, stout's not really my. It's not really where I would go. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, just play with the thought experiment with me here. The voyageur should use smoked barley. Yes. See, Simo, you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going, right? Absolutely. So I'd call a beer the voyageur, and yeah. Oh man, I'll bitch about my cold to you guys, because once I turn the computer off, I'm not going to complain about it. You know, man cold or whatever the hell they call it. I can't stand that. Something with a little salt on it would be the boating one, you know, I think. Or would a mead be like would sitting around the fire be mead instead of beer? Mead. Oh God. M. Hold on. Mead. I'm not trying to say mean. I'm trying to say mead. You know, honey alcohol. Maple beer. Flavored beer. You know, we're just gonna piss off outdoor dauber if we get into flavored beer. But I like the idea of a maple beer. I don't like that maple whiskey that's so popular here. What's it called? Sortilège. That's like cloying in too much maple. Or maybe is everything a seasonal in a bushcraft slash camping oriented beer company? You know. Wait, Martin, you used to brew your own? What? How come you don't do that anymore? I would love to make my own mead. There's a company here that we buy um, semi regularly. It takes us a long time to get through a bottle of mead because we drink it the way you would like sherry or porto, you know. But and you made beer too. Nice. Not like with kits, right? You actually did the brewing. I have a buddy who used to be a bouncer at Hurley's Irish Pub here, which is where I met him. Um, but while he was doing that, he was also working at the Saint Ambroise Brewery, um, and he got hired to be the brewmaster at Bad Tattoo. It's a brew pub out in Penticton. And they bottle and can their own, and the process is fascinating to me, especially because he went from brewing his he had a little home, not a still because that would be moonshine, but like a home setup to working at a brewery to getting to being brewmaster at another brewery. Because yeah, the vats are bigger, but the process is the same. Okay. Came up with an idea with Nick. You might make a modified meat carving knife for bushcraft. Okay, that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting, Tyler. Damn it, Selch. Get Alan back on here so you can talk about it. You sold your brewing equipment when you sold everything to travel around North America. Yeah, my dad, he's done beer from kit before. Uh, but I think he just, Martin, during Canoe Hound's live stream, I sort of talked about this a little bit when I was saying how I like the poetry of the old school one paddle, whereas obviously the efficiency is all in the pack boat. Um, I respect the pageantry of certain things. Like when I make the missus her morning coffee, I use one of those stovetop, the mocha pot. You screw it apart, fill the bottom with water, put the metal filter in, screw it back, and put it on the stovetop. Now I make her coffee the way that contraption is meant to be used. I use hot water in the lower chamber. I put the heat at like 8.5, and then when it starts to trickle finally out the at that little pillar in the middle, when the coffee finally starts to trickle out, I turn it down to like 7.5, and then as soon as it starts to spit, I close it and I run just the bottom under cold water to stop the heat from you know um, and the coffee's not bitter. A lot of people who don't like mocha pot coffee, they're like, oh, it's so bitter. It's because what they do is they pour cold water in, throw their grounds in, throw it on the stove at high, let it go until it spits, and then they just pour their coffee. No, that's not how you do it. But the thing is, you know I like that kind of thing. I like the process of things. which is why the easiest way is not always the best way to me. Now, what this means is sometimes it takes me way longer to get anything done than the next person over because he's just using a lighter, whereas I'm using flint and steel, or he's, I don't know, using a paper cone for his coffee or whatever. And wow, why was I on this? What were we talking about? What? Oh yeah, and so like to me, there's an aspect of brewing beer or maybe even making wine that I find enchanting, that I would really go for. But I've got enough hobbies. But like my dad's the opposite. He doesn't need all the steps. He doesn't zen out on process the way I do. So I think that I don't even think he uses kits anymore. I think he just buys beer because he's getting beer without any trouble. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't mean to make it sound like kayaking was a new thing, but Sash, you don't do nothing. You just carved an axe handle. Come on, you don't do nothing. I have never carved an axe handle. Damn it! I was supposed to send a note to our buddy in New Brunswick to see where my axe handles are. I have all these things like on a to-do list in my head, and then by the time I get to later, when it's time to do the to-do list, I'm too tired and I go to bed. Tonight, actually, it's funny because I was trying to get some of my to-do list done while I was on the Canoe Hound live stream. Like I was not even just while I was on it, while I was watching it at first, and then I sort of joined in. But I was making baby food because we're getting low on stuff, so I was grinding up sweet potatoes and peaches and stuff. Because if I leave everything to after this live stream, I'm too tired to get everything done. And that's one of those things that I keep leaving until, at night when I'm just sort of kicking back. But the thing is, I sit down, I kick back, and I'm out. But tonight I will email him and ask where the handles are and add 2 more handles to my order. So Simo, at some point, that double Walters is going to have a handle. Not an octagonal handle, but it will have a handle. I kind of feel like I should be sipping on a scotch in honor of the in honor of Canoe Hound and Martin. So Martin, when you were making beer, how long does it take to brew up a batch of beer? So your friend makes wine that is closer to moonshine and alcohol volume but not distilled. Outdoors back. Were you gone? Just kidding. Of course I missed you. I wanted to hear about yet another bushcraft purchase that you made for like no money. And it's funny that Outdoor came back. Well, Pine, just sort of like a stem to stern, like if I wanted to make a batch of beer, which I'm not going to do because I'm not equipped and I'm not going to throw that kind of money around. But like kit and caboodle, like is it a several month process or is it a couple of weeks process? Octagon retracted. Wait, you used to brew beer as well, Outdoor? No, Serge, I didn't order an octagonal handle because I didn't know that everyone was going to be such a jerk about it. I also think that the octagonal handle is going to be more expensive. Okay, so the cook is but that's the fast part, right, Martin? A couple of hours including the cleaning up. Wow, okay. That's a lot faster than I thought it would be. I wonder what the missus is doing up there. No, Simo, he's talking about beer. The aging varies from weeks to a few months. Is that depending on what kind of beer you're making, like an ale versus a lager or something, or is it dependent on how strong you want it? I don't know. Like, I'm trying to come up with the right questions to ask because I'm very interested in the process, but I know nothing about the process aside from what I saw my buddy doing in these vast vats over there in Penticton, you know? Give me a second, guys. I hope she's not cleaning up my mess. Qu'est-ce que tu fais là? Non, laisse ça, je vais le faire. Well, there's one less thing I have to do after the live stream. Should not be happy about having done it, but a lager is cold brewed, so much longer fermentation process. Okay, all right, I can see the math in that. Interesting. Okay. So, Martin, would you want to get back into doing that, or is that sort of done and gone? Simo, no, she was making the kids' lunches. Ah, diamond plates. I have a couple of diamond plates in my in my bag that we always have with us when we're in the woods. I keep diamond plates in for field sharpening because they take no room, they weigh nothing, and they were affordable. They're, I think, DMR, GMT, something like that. It's a brand, you know. They're not no name. But yeah, I don't use Windex on my diamond plates. I just spritz with water. Some people use them dry. Serious buffering? No. Stop buffering. Sorry about that, guys. Huh. That is interesting. Hold on. South Years is a block by Worksmith. Okay. All right. That's cool. Hi, Martin. Yes, you would because you enjoy the craft of it, but drink a little beer these days. I should be on a low carb diet. Pine Martin. That's a good point. Outdoor. Yeah. I see you're obviously buffering more than the rest of us since we talked about that all the way up at the top of the the chat. It's funny because like I think that if I had all the beer making equipment, I'd make a go of it. I don't mean I'd make a go of it as in I would make a career of it. I mean, I would do it. I would experiment. I would try some new stuff. Excuse me, but I can't throw the time and money into starting a new hobby. I'm way too busy as it is. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. Dennis mentioned this. I in his last live stream last week, I won a sticker pack. So I put one on my water bottle, and his stickers are better than mine because his are like some kind of nylon. What are they, vinyl or something? Whereas mine are just paper stickers. I'm gonna send him one as a token of appreciation. Nice design, eh? Nice design, eh? Oh yeah. Yeah, I like it. Good thick. I think they're vinyl. Yeah, no, Simone, in this case, he actually spent a fair amount. Vinyl decals, yes. I should redo my stickers as vinyl decals. I wonder how much that would cost. Probably a lot of money, eh? What do you think? But I mean, it's so worth it. The effect is so much better. I still kind of want to get patches made though, like Velcro backed patches. But I'm really rethinking a lot of the stuff that I do for my channel, like the T-shirts and stuff like that. I'm thinking that maybe I should just close all that down until I hit like 10,000 subs, no, however long that's going to take. Because the fact is, it's complicated at tax time for like 4 T-shirts sold in a year, kind of thing. I don't know. I'll think on it some more. Yeah, what I would love to do, and man, I don't know what I would love to do when I finally get my Swift canoe is get a big vinyl RDB decal made, like Dennis has on the bottom of his, and put it on the bottom. Joe Robinette's got that kind of effect in his too, but that's not a decal. That's actually in the surface. I would love to know what the upcharge is on that. Martin, you've bought Swift. Do you have you any idea what they would upcharge to do that? Because what they have to do is lay the design into the mold as they're pouring the layers for the canoe. That's got to be expensive. That's got to be like a $600 upcharge. I'm hurt. I'm not really. You know what I would like to get outdoor? I'm not saying this to you because I want you to look for one for me, unless you want to. But because you keep getting really cool stuff that I don't tend to think of. I would like to get a tin frying pan. Like, I'd like to get some old school tin cookware, you know? Yeah, yeah, Martin, exactly. But like, if it's like $300 more, I would totally spend that to have my logo not scrape off over time. But if it's like $800 more, then no way. It's the kind of thing. Like, what I would like to do is just contact them with a whole bunch of questions, but I don't want to do that until, yes, there is an impending purchase. I have money, set aside, like half my money or something, because they probably get calls like a dozen times a year by people who are like, "Yeah, I'd like to get one of your canoes one day," and take up like a lot of their time on the phone, and then just they never had the money, you know. So whenever I'm thinking about stuff like this, I always want to wait until I've got some of the money saved up so that I can say, yes, I am. I'm on my way to being able to buy one of your canoes. I'm hoping to be able to buy it next year. Let's talk about the options that I should be saving towards. Yeah, I guess a cold handle, but I was thinking tin. Just sort of for the historicalness, just shit. Okay, yeah, for the old school magic. Okay, let's forget that happened. Okay. No, 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 no. Later, 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 later. Remind me tomorrow. Holy crap! I almost restarted my computer because it wants to do an update that is not going to work. Another thing I would like to get is an old cast iron pan. Like, you know how you can get a cast iron pan these days, but it's got kind of that rough bottom, and no matter how much you season it, it's still got a rough bottom. But whereas old um, old cast iron has kind of a smooth bottom, so you season it and nothing ever sticks. You know, I've got a real old one somewhere in my camping gear. So I'd like to get a solo sized, real old cast iron pan. Then I can just scrape all the seasoning off, re-season it, and go. Tyler, no. Yeah, Martin, I don't have a problem with that. I have no problem with having to wait. That base I was mentioning, my um, great outdoor, everything is all over the place there, and we have nothing up here. I was telling Martin about my 40th birthday base that I bought for myself, and from the time that I ordered that, I had to wait 9 months until they built it. It didn't take 9 months to build it, but it took several months for my number to come up. And I didn't mind that. I like the feeling of I was about to sneeze. I like the feeling of looking forward to something that's coming. You know, I like knowing that it's coming, and I have no problem waiting for it. My threshold for waiting for stuff is 2 years. And that's a theoretical threshold because I've never had to wait longer than a year for something full up custom. How long is the wait on a Swift generally? Maybe estate sales, yeah. I assume that even in Quebec, people die without relatives. Yeah, my mother had 4 brothers and sisters, and her mother had no. Her mother actually was either an only child or had only one or two because she was Scottish, not Quebecois. Yes, that's exactly waiting like a kid at Christmas. I love that feeling, and I very rarely get it. Uh, Tyler, no, you know what? Nothing's to stop you from just grinding down the bottom of a pen. That's true. That's true. I have an appreciation for old stuff. Uh oh, Paul just sent me something. Is this something I can show or? Oh, yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, that's a nice little pen. But yeah, something like that. The wait on pack boats is long. Okay. But like, what would you use to grind down a cast iron pan to smooth? Would it be like a sandpaper thing, or would you need an angle grinder? I would not want to use an angle grinder in a cast iron pan. Can you just like take sandpaper or like a sharpening stone, for instance, and just keep going at it? Well, how long was the wait on your pack boat then, Martin? Wet sandpaper. Oh, yeah. Okay, wet and dry paper. Okay. You could start with an 80 grit or something, I guess. Hey, Zach. Zach's here. You left before the stream to pick up pizza and you had to return home to get your wallet. Oh, frustrating, right? Tell you what, how many of you guys saw my backpack? No, I'm going to start that again. How many of you guys saw my sleeping bag video that I put up a couple of weeks, last week? Here's the thing. Okay, it's like an hour's drive from my front door to my mother-in-law's place, lakefront there. Um, provided traffic isn't too bad. We got there, and I realized that I had packed everything except the sleeping bag that I had to review. So I left the kids at their grandmother's and hauled my cookies all the way back just to grab that damned sleeping bag. So, Zach, I know how you feel, and I'm pretty sure that my story is worse than yours. Oh, you bought a demo. Okay. All right, CLT. What the hell's a Roloc? Speaking of appreciating old things, we actually just made a whole bunch of lath from 2x4 for making lath crates. Oh, cool. Lath or lathe? I think they're lathe, right? Yeah, so the carbon footprint of that video is much higher than I would have liked it to have been. By the way, Martin, that tent you have in the video where you're talking about the ground sheet controversy, I want that tent. I love that. I really like the look of that tent. I'm trying to remember what the hell that tent is. Because Tenenbaum, because I was talking to Tenenbaum. Tenenbaum is my tent guru. Whenever I have a question about a tent, I ask him, and I think he said it was the Hubba Hubba. So it is the MSR Hubba Hubba, exactly. And I really, yeah, outdoor. That's a nice pan. I like that. So I'm thinking that because that big ass tent I had in that video, that's like the only tent I own. It's a 6-person. It's a cheapo. It's a Columbia that we bought at Canadian Tire like 12, 13 years ago when the missus and I were still new. But I feel that it's too big for when it's just Camille and me, you know? I think we could fit into a 2-person tent, no problem. But that Hubba Hubba is a lot more expensive, isn't it? What's it, like 500 Canadian? Let me just... yes, I've still got the... I just had to flip through my tabs. I still have it open from when Tenenbaum and I were talking. Yeah, it's 519 Canadian. I don't like the color as much this year, though. It's like red and white. And isn't yours more like an orange and white? I thought, man, it looks like a cool tent. Paul, yeah, definitely do that. Mysterious. I just answered a question. Texted to me, and I'm not going to tell you guys what it was. No way. Is Paul be my hammock guru? He should be. He should be. The thing is, I don't talk about hammocks because I bought one, and I still haven't used it. 3 years ago, I bought it. 3 years. And, you know, like how it's like a perennial problem for me getting out for a weekend or even just an overnighter. And it's just like, that thing is sitting there and taunting me. Every time I go into that back room, I see the box, you know? And so I don't want to talk about hammocks because just talking about them reminds me that I'm not getting that one into action. And by the way, it was not cheap. But he knows, that guy knows his hammocks. Oh, yours is red and white. Okay. Love that tent. So much vertical space for it. Yeah. I really like the looks of that tent. So up some 12-ounce drop cloth and get you a canvas tent. You know, it's funny because we're gonna just go right down the list of all the stuff I would love to add to my kit. I want to get a canvas tent. This is a midterm, like a mid-range, long-term, short-term, midterm purchase though. But it's gotta have a floor on it. Adrenaline Adventures has one that has a zip-in floor. But I think his is more of a dome shape. I kind of want a square one. So I feel that I've got a lot more research to do before I can throw that kind of money down. They're also expensive. They're not like unattainable. But it's the kind of thing where I'm not just gonna, you know what, this week I'm buying a tent. Yeah, Tenenbaum, that's what you were saying. I've been looking at them, and I'd really like to get one of those. I think that's a really nice it's a really nice package, and I'm pretty sure it's a whole lot lighter than my big honk in Colombia. Because there's the thing, once you start spending money, everything gets a little lighter, and lighter is good. I'm 47, guys. I've got like a degenerative arthritis thing happening in my wrists. Everything bloody hurts because I've got a 9-month-old kid that I keep picking up. So I want all my stuff to be as light as I can get it. The thing is, I learned something in mountain biking that seems to be true across the board. Solid, light, affordable. Pick two. And so my philosophy has very much turned towards, I want the solid and I want the light. The affordable, I will just deal with. If it means that I have to save up an extra year, I'm okay with that, because it means that I'm not, I used to buy like the $120 vacuum, like the Shark sold at Canadian Tire kind of thing, and I would buy it every 2 years kind of deal. When you finally just say, no, I'm going to spend $600 on a real vacuum, and you never have to buy one again, it pays for itself in the long run. And I now bring that philosophy to everything, 98% of everything, I guess. Where are we? Hold on. Oh, Simo just put a link up. I wonder if it's the same one. Yeah, that's the same one as I was looking at. How about NX 2-person backpacking tent? Oh man, this is getting old fast. Hold on. What kills tents and backpacks on the long term is the urethane coating disintegrating. Absolute truth. I'm only making an effort to do that better. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Make yourself a promise at least one night spent in the woods every month of the year. Get your wife on board. I'm going to talk to her about that. Like I might disguise it as a New Year's resolution or something. Sorry, guys. I'm loving life here. Yeah, that's not a bad concept, and I can work on that. Yeah, exactly. Lighter is just good. If it's light and it lasts a long time, just spend the money, right? Just spend the damn money. You'll be glad you did. I mean, I've been bit in the arse so often because I've gone to the affordable route. I'm done with it. I can't afford to keep buying the same thing over and over again. Wait. Where? The word midterm brings back was. Sorry, Zach. $520 is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of money. As I said, it's not something I'm gonna buy before Christmas. That's for damn sure. But it's the kind of thing that if I ever get like a bonus at the day job or something, maybe I can throw it down. If I had 100,000 subscribers, I would just buy it and write it off as a business expense. Henry Hoovers are the best vacuums you can buy. Way more reliable than any Dyson. We have a Dyson, and you're probably not wrong. My mother has a bloody hell. It's an old brand that's now called Arius, and they last forever. Like hers has lasted 40 odd years, you know. But yeah, Dyson it's a lot of money. It's very stylish, but it's been back to the shop like 3 times. Yeah. Sneezing always comes in threes. Yeah. Yeah. God thing, she doesn't watch the live streams. Okay, that's a good point. Simon made a good point that if I'm testing a concept, going the affordable route, it's a good way to know whether or not. Which, by the way, is what I did with that Cold Steel Canadian belt knife, and based on the shape and the ergonomics of that, I then ordered the Groman one. The fact that I canceled the Groman one because they hadn't yet shipped it a week later, notwithstanding, if they would ship in 20th century timeframes, then I would have that knife and I'd be very happy with it. But yeah, that was the entire concept of why I bought the Cold Steel. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Simo. Filter Queens are the bomb? I don't even know. Yes, Electrolux. Thank you, Simo. Rainbow vacuums? What? This conversation is getting weird. But yeah, so based on just what I saw from Martin's video and what I have read and spoken about since then, I'm definitely adding this Hubba Hubba 2-person tent to my I was going to say bucket list, but it's not a bucket list. It's my to-do list eventually. My midterm purchase list. I'll have to do a closer exam of the features and functions, but I'm pretty sure that it's funny because I find that what is called a 2 or 6-person tent, in my experience, is not that comfortable. Like putting 6 people in my 6-person tent would be a very crowded 6 people, especially if they're all adults. So I wonder, like, what dictates 6-person tent? Like, what are the measurements that they're using? Is it like whatever's your median man shoulder width 6 times across, or is it your median man shoulder width plus 2 inches per side for like maybe a little movement? I've never even heard of Filter Queen. Outdoor, I don't know. I feel that in theory, I'd prefer a tarp to a tent, but most of my camping experience has been tents. Martin, there are as many Mora fans in the world as there are Moras in the world. I'm one of them, but I now that I own the Mora Garberg, the full tang one, I don't really see myself buying another standard Mora again, because I always had like a Mora companion or something in my backpack as a backup knife to my usual bush knife, the rat tail tang, But now that I've got this Mora Garberg, even if I'm using that, the Garberg is full tang. It's a heavier knife than your standard Mora because of that. The balance is different, but the Mora blade shape is fabulous. Um, the way Mora comes from the factory sharpened is fabulous. I'm a bit of a classicist in that I like a full tang knife, and that Garberg, man, whew, that's a cool knife. It's like $100 though. But Martin, if you're just looking at checking out Moras, I'll send you one of mine if you want. Just give me your address and I'll fire you off. Like I've got a companion heavy duty, which I'll just because if you're just looking to try out Mora, I'll just send you one because they're affordable. If you break it, you just throw it away. That's what I don't like about Moras. The concept that if you break it, you just throw it away. Because man, we throw away everything. We throw away so much stuff. It's like we see. I get so pissed off that I have a hard time talking about it. I started shaving with a straight razor, which I still do, purely for two reasons. One, because as soon as I stopped using a multi-bladed monster, all this stopped being red every time I shaved. Second, and the thing that made me do this in the first place was I was consumed by how many small plastic cartridges I threw away in the course of a year. There are all these little things that are impossible to quantify unless you really work at it, right? Cigarette butts, bottle caps, razor cartridge heads, It's like, oh, they're tiny, except that you throw away millions of them in a year. And so all those, like, whenever someone says, oh man, but it's just a drop in the bucket, every bucket is filled with drops. Why did I get on this? Oh yeah. So to me, the fact that Amora is essentially a disposable knife really bugs me. When I bought my first Mora, it was because I kind of felt that I needed to know what everyone was talking about. And I found that it was a very capable knife for something that cost that little, and so I sort of, from that point on, I always had a Mora as a backup knife in my bag in case I lost my custom or something, Hold on. Tarp. Someone prefers a tarp. 6 feet by 2 feet of space, essentially. That's each person. Divide the number of people student in half. You have to add odd number round down. Okay. They can skimp on that width number sometimes. Yeah, I feel that they skimp on that width a lot. Okay, so Pine Martin says the Hubba Hub is perfect for two people. They will call an 80-inch wide 10-4 person. Let's see, what 80 inches? What is that in dear phone, do not die. This phone, this is a loaner phone. It's a 5C. As soon as the battery hits like 10%, it suddenly goes and dies on me. So I'm trying to do this conversion before the battery dies on me. I will be buying a new phone in the new year because this is ridiculous. Length. Oh God, length. Come on. There we go. That's temperature. We're talking about length. Thank you. 80 inches. It's 0.002 of a kilometer. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, so 203 centimeters. Yeah. Any had a Cletton folder? No. Oh, okay, Martin. Yeah, I thought I saw a more around your neck, which is why I was just blithering on, and then like, wait a minute. Remember now, was it your EDC / ditch kit video? Was it? Because you got a really nicely used Mora. Like that Mora is well loved. I have a robust as well. That's an interesting it's a really cool little blade shape on it. Outdoor, I have a double-edged razor as well for like travel. You know, it's funny, Tenenbaum. I have had nothing but the pinch like this for probably 25 years now. Just a pinch. I used to have like my sideburns down to here. At that point, I also had hair down to past my shoulder blades. So no judgy, okay? Hey, hike with Mike. When did you show up? Oh, there you are. How's it going? Dude, outdoor. Your phone shuts off at like 84%? Yikes. Converto app? I shall see what this Converto is. But this is a currency converter. I don't need a currency converter. I have one on my phone. On my telephone. Yeah, Serge, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Serge is saying he reduces the number of people in the tent by 25%. So if it's sold as a 4-person, he calls it a 3-person. That seems to make more sense to me because people move as they sleep. Well, most people move when they sleep, you know? Double-edged safety razors are the way to go. No plastic cartridge. Blades are cheap as chips. The blades are thinner than a straight, which makes shaving effortless. True. You have several, usually solo hike, yes. But you always use a 2-person tent. I wouldn't go smaller than a 2-person either. First of all, I'm claustrophobic. Second of all, I need space for my stuff. Always use a 2-person so you can store your gear in the tent. Yep. Outdoor, you just bought a Gillette Super Speed Black tip made in 52. Simo was trying to find the URL. Perfect. Yeah, tent manufacturers don't account for any gear in a tent, is what Outdoor Dauber just said. And that's the thing, you know, like if I'm camping in a rainy situation or a snowy situation, I mean, yeah, you can always put a tarp up. You know, when I used to go car camping with my dad and my sister back out in British Columbia when I was young, we would put up our tent. I mean, this is national park or provincial park camping, right? We weren't wild camping. We would pull into the campsite, put up a tent, and then string up the mother of all tarps across about half of the the campsite because we knew what British Columbia can do to you. Rain, you know. So you could do something like that. In which case, you can leave your stuff outside and hope to hell that the people in the next campsite over are the thieving type. But I just feel safer pulling all my stuff inside so that I don't have to cover half of a campsite with a tarp, you know. And if I have to reach for something at night, I don't know. I'm coming up with context out of the ether here. I don't have to go out of the tent, you know. Have a leather stropping block ready already, so a straight razor makes sense. Yeah. Tenenbaum. Yeah, you so like who makes a 2-person tent that you would only really use solo then? 2 doors helps as does good vestibules. Yeah, vestibules. Tenenbaum, did you just change your avatar? mostly. Outdoor, the thing with straight shaving is a lot of people never get the hang of it. It's because it takes on average 150 shaves to get it down. You know, um, when I was starting, I was like 150. That's a pretty exact number, but that's about what it took for me to stop nicking myself, or to start doing a good job and not hold the razor like totally wrong. Well, I'm sorry that's finished. Okay. Tyler, Gillette has just re-released one of their vintage razors. I don't remember what it's called. I came across a post about it on the Canadian Wet Shavers Facebook group. If I can find it, I'll send you a note. Yeah, I don't use disposables at all. Like, I will on occasion use a blend of like my straight razor, especially if I'm trying to keep this line straight and around here, and the double edge. Just if I don't have a lot of time in the morning, because wet shaving is water intense and time intense. You really got to zen into it. Otherwise, you're like, oh my god, it's taking me 20 minutes to shave, kind of thing. Outdoor Dauber is 6'1" and 245 pounds. Take the number of people attendance rated at and divide by 2. If you have an odd number, you round down. This gives space for gear. That's an excellent rule of thumb. Right, okay. Yeah, I've seen that Fly Creek too before, somewhere. I don't remember where. Was that something that we talked about? That, like, because I remember we were talking about tents at one point, and I was looking up some of the models you were mentioning, but I don't remember. Oh, life! Why do you do this to us, dear universe? Piss right off. Tuna pinch and quite comfortable for one, yeah. But I feel that if I was going to be solo camping, I would just throw up a tarp, throw it on my sleeping bag, sleep next to the fire, kind of thing. Because that's kind of how I would like to camp anyway. You got a head cold too, Rain Dance? I'm suffering big time from one right now. Yes, sir. I sure do. I sure do. Here's to us. Wilkinson Sword has a nice razor between 10 and 30 bucks. Yeah, I think you're right about that, actually. Yeah, bugs. I know. I was sort of yeah, that may have been a little bombastic. But I wouldn't want to buy a 2-person tent for when it's 2 of us, and a 2-person tent for when it's just me. I would just make do with the larger one that is comfortable for Camille and me. Black fly scars on the back of your hands have taken about 2 decades. Yeah, black flies, man. I get it. Yeah, Tyler, you may as well. I use the Wilkinson blades. I don't remember what my double edge, my double razor is. I don't know. It's a Van something. It's a very new razor. I don't think it's fantastic, but it does the job, and it wasn't too expensive. Tea's a good drink. Yeah, I haven't been sailing in a couple of years. I used to crew on a 30-foot Beneteau. Just a lake, just a laker, not blue water sailing. But I haven't been in a few years. I remember the first time I took Camille on that boat. She was young, like 5, maybe 6. And when we got back to dock, she made the skipper trace out the drainage pipes from the bow, or from the head, I think, all the way to the stern. She wanted to know where it went. He loved it. He was, because she was more interested in his boat than his wife was, I think. Tyler's right. Tea is a good drink. I love the Shark Super Stainless blades. Yeah, Tenenbaum only gets summers off. Is it as bad where you are? Yeah, you probably get bad bugs, eh? But are there any black flies over there? Or is that really a North American thing? All right, Seth. See you later. Selp. Selp. Good night, Seth. You clearly need the sleep. So you get them all just like us, Tenenbaum. That's too bad.